deal where it's like a UFO lands in backyard, and Elvis Presley was at command. You can imagine? Thank you very much. And he looked young, and we spent time with Elvis, and we asked him if he's been working on any new music, and he shared me a cut, and but it's going to self-destruct or something like that, because it'll destroy the space-time continuum. But anyways, it's goofiness. Fact check things. Don't just share it, because if you share it and you didn't verify it, then it makes you look like an idiot. Some people post it. They think it's the gospel truth. They goes, I know because I've seen it on there. And so people send me stuff, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. And I'll go verify it. I'm like, I didn't think that was true. And I do. And I have various sources, but Snoops is good, where you can just type it in, and believe me, everything's typed in, and they do the fact search. And there's so many other websites, but that's one that I like. And it debunks a lot of the myths that are out there. And believe me, there's a good number of them. And you may have stopped watching a particular movie, may have stopped voting for a politician because of some crappy folklore or something like that. Donald Trump, he tweets a lot. He says intelligence agencies should never have allowed this fake news to leak into public. One last shot at me. Are we living in Nazi Germany? Any negative polls are fake news. This is Donald Trump saying, just like CNN, ABC, NBC polls in the election. Sorry, people want border security and extreme vetting. These polls showing many more Americans believe that there was a loss of civility in politics after Trump was elected. And then there were that said that same after former President Barack Obama's election, while only 35% said they had declined in a Gallup poll after Obama's election. Twice as many, 70%, said the same thing in Trump's election. Yeah, I heard somebody say that, and I was just thought, who could this possibly be? I didn't get a name, but a liberal commentator that was joining on Fox and Friends was saying that the liberal media was just as hard on Barack Obama when he was in the White House. And I had to chuckle. I'm like, who said that? But people believe that they were just as hard on Barack Hussein Obama. Excuse me, they gave him a pass, and they still give him a pass, okay? They love this guy. There was a love fest. And what did Sean Hannity call him? The Messiah, okay? And that's pretty much what they elevated him during the whole deal. It just looked like Jesus was coming out. You ever go to a rock concert? That's what it kind of looked like during the whole Hope and Change. Hope and change, that's what you're going to get. You vote for me. We're going to change this and all of this. It's not going to be the same system. Mark my words. Let me make myself clear. Hope and change. You didn't build it. We didn't build it. No, we didn't build it. You didn't build it. No, but my father did. His father built it, and his father before his father built it. But yeah, it was built with American hands, American sweat, American tears, sweat and blood, all that. This is our country. That's your country. And folks, this is our America, and we're not going to stand for the lunacy of these liberals any longer. We need to take it back. Folks, this fascism from these liberal Democrats, fascist liberals, are destroying our country, folks. I mean, right under our eyes each and every single day. And they're not apologizing for it. They're just lying. They're just cantering up things, putting things up that don't exist, casting doubt, and trying just to destroy anything good that's happening from our country. Yes, like Trump just said, they don't want borders, but he said, you're going to get borders. You're going to get the wall. You're going to get border control. And we've had things on the books, but it hasn't been enforced. A lot of things haven't been enforced. People have just looked the other way, and bad things happen when you look the other way. And too many people that work in big government have done that very same thing because it's been relaxed. But it comes to a leadership deal. Who's in leadership? And then it trickles on down. The people around you, people working for you. But when you get people that are spewing hate and they're spewing untruths and seeding doubt into people's minds, who are they trying to help? Are they really trying to build up America? Are they trying to help America? Are they trying to love America, support America? Absolutely not. What are their motives? Do they even know what their motives are? I just wondered. I questioned even some of these so-called protesters out there. I've asked questions. When you just ask normal questions, they just look at you like a deer in the headlights. They have no idea what to say. It's like they've been programmed by somebody, and I know who that somebody is. And I feel the pain of Donald Trump when he tweets against Donald Trump. Why I don't personally get upset about it. You got Charles Kronheimer that says it's brilliant, the moves with the with the beatdown with CNN. It's this war with the liberal media, and this will continue. There will always be something that they will have, because they can't talk about anything good. They have to talk about something negative, okay? Because people have an appetite for this. Jimmy Fallon, okay, he's the late night guy on the Tonight Show that replaced Jay Leno. You know, Jay Leno, and then there was what? Oh, come on. We know who Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny. Dun 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 dun. Miss Johnny Carson. He was great. But anyway, the amount of jokes, and you can watch the rebroadcast, but I was just curious of how much of this stuff goes on late night, and this guy constantly is beating up the president, constantly smearing the president. And I mean, it really amazingly gets old. And I don't know if these people are paid to laugh, but the jokes are just awful. Even Jay Leno just said a little over a week ago, he said, I wouldn't be doing these things. You say a few and that's just it. But no, it wasn't just a few in a monologue. I mean, 8 to 10 in a monologue, and not even just beating up Donald Trump, but talking about Melania, his kids, Jeff Sessions, beating up his whole cabinet. And it stuff was in really poor taste. And I just, as a conservative Republican, I was just thinking to myself, wow, I was not very happy about it, but I tried to have an open mind about it, to say, is there humor there? And you know what? I just did not hear it. It was just seething with hatred. And they're telling him, if you don't tell these jokes, you're probably off. We're not going to put you on. And by the way, he looks like a buffoon with a beard. Some people say he looks like a man, but he looks like a buffoon with a beard. It just looks awful. Roots, the band that he has with the beards, with those guys on there, looks pretty good on him, but not Jimmy Fallon. Shave the beard, shave the goatee off. It looks savage. I don't know what he's trying to do. It looks fine on our speaker, Paul Ryan, when he grows one out, but definitely not on Jimmy Fallon. But this is not just Jimmy, not just beating up here on the late night show, but it's all of the programs that do this, that just have to sit there and salivate about Donald Trump and how bad things really are in Washington. But again, they can't take anything good and do anything positive for the nature of the country. They have to beat down this president, can't support this president, and they support, by doing that, all of the negative folks out there, exacerbating these negative flames for this animosity that's going on in our country, that's causing people to not like the police, not like law enforcement officials, and I think putting more of our men in blue in more harm's way, and people having this disdain and this anti-patriotism for our country. And so imagine if Donald Trump is president for 8 years, which is very, very possible, what the state of our country is going to be if this stuff continues. Or maybe there's a wake-up call, possibly, that comes with the Democratic Party that calls people back to reason and starts talking about substantive issues that can get our country. Here's Kucinich. This is from yesterday, but he was making a little sense.
It's a political statement, not a medical statement, and I think it's destroying the party as an effective opposition. People want political parties to be focused on America's economic needs, on jobs, wages, healthcare, education, retirement security, and peace, and they want American politicians to be constructive, not destructive. And I think that what's happening here is not it's not good for the country. I think there are some people in the party who are still having a great difficulty being able to reconcile the results of the November 2016 elections with their own politics. And we have to realize the American people were the ones who judged President Trump. They decided he should be president in November 2016. And that's the way the process works. And so we must find common ground. And you can't establish common ground if you're slinging mud.
Democratic candidate Kucinich, here's a liberal, okay? He's saying, come on. So there are people that have common sense. There are some common sense liberals out there. This guy, I don't even want to say if he's a liberal, he's just a Democrat. But, man, the guy's a senator. The guy certainly has ideas, and he understands how this is hurting dramatically the party. And there has to be somebody out there that has a better voice, a clearer voice than, say, Elizabeth Warren. If we got Nancy Pelosi, these are the people. These are the people that are going to lead. These are the people that are going to steer. They can't tell the truth. They get their facts wrong constantly about Donald Trump and about, Russia and this whole deal's numbers. And then also spreading, falsehoods across the country to minorities as if Donald Trump is hating people, then calling him an Islamophobe, that he hates Muslims, even though that he's had Muslims work for him and has Muslims that work for him. It has nothing to do with that. It's being able to just know what's going on, just being in the know. And again, this guy sounds like a CEO. What does a CEO do? He wants to know what's happening around him so he can rein in, so we can get things under control because things have been so out of control. Things have to be taken in hand. He's a hands-on president. This is what leadership is about. And that's why I think it's so foreign for so many people. They're like, here's a guy that actually is getting things done. He says what he means what he says. Yeah, he shoots from the hip. Yes, he does. But hey, I'd rather have a president shoot from the hip than to have a president actually not do anything, have his hands in his pockets and bow to kings and emperors, Barack Hussein Obama, that had 8 years to be able to mend fences and be able to help African Americans and minorities in this country, and has in fact hurt them even more with lack of opportunity, put more people on welfare, less people with home ownership, more taxes, more debt. Thank you so much, Barack Obama. You left us in flames, buddy. Thanks. Enjoy your golf game today. Enjoy your golf. At least Donald Trump's earned his golf game. And if he goes to Mar-a-Lago 150,000 times when he's president, he gets more jobs done from one hole to the next than you've done in your whole 8 years, which I still can't figure out what one thing you did that was positive for a country. Oh, we got you out of the recession. Excuse me, that was the feds. That was American ingenuity and technology. That was Americans' hard work. Had nothing to do with you, okay? If you even know what a day's work is or an honest day's work. Go back to community organizing. You were a terrible senator. You were a terrible president. And just to think that they're going to lean on him to actually be the new energy to revamp, because a lot of people from the DNC are saying that this guy could be the one that is going to be the new voice for the DNC. But his bigger picture is that he wants to, run the United Nations. Supposedly that's his big picture there. So that'll be unique to see if he gets that. Kofi Annan, taking that position or something like that. Yeah, can you imagine Barack Obama with this big white hair, looking like the lion of the UN? No. Listen, I don't want somebody that I like every day. I want somebody that's effective. Okay, I like that kind of stuff. It's become such a popularity thing. It has been for so many different years, but, I want somebody that has a track record, okay? And that's the kind of things that an employer looks at when you're looking at somebody, a prospect. What do you look at? Their accomplishments, things they've done, productivity, winners, okay? You want people on your team that have been effective. Why would you hire somebody that's been ineffective or no experience? Unless you just get a feeling and you just want to train them.